strong arm. We can't throw tax incentives at big companies and hope they stick. We need a long-term vision, one that promotes small business growth, keeps property costs reasonable, and creates strong business community and creates a strong business community where companies want to invest their money.
All right, I appreciate that, Jamie. A quick follow-up on that. So I know that it's been brought up a couple times. Are there any examples that you think of that would help with some of that red tape? Because that's always a concern of speeding up the process of getting these people supported, but while making sure that that they are vetted to make sure that it makes sense for the community and that they are good tenants at times, because you run into that sometimes. I think.
Right. You have your slowlords that need to be taken care of, but you also have the needy people that need the help. And in my vision, I want to help the people. I don't want to tear down homes. I don't want to, we're spending $30,000 to take homes away from aldermen that didn't pay their taxes to tear them down. What we could be investing that $30,000 possibly into that home to keep. Everything seems so backwards to me.
I appreciate.
I don't know if I answered that.
No, I appreciate some of the clarification and again, finding those areas, whether it's quickening the process or finding the areas of potential ways. I think that.
Well, it's just like this. I was looking at some documents just for food trucks for Carrots Chemical. The paperwork that they have to have, the procurements, the insurance, oh my God. It's like you need to hire an engineer to put a food truck in LaSalle. That needs to stop.
Appreciate it. Tyler. Jumping the gun on this wall. So next question is for you, sir. What can you bring to the table that the other candidates may not be able to do?
So given my age, it seems that a lot more of the younger people tend to want to communicate with someone who's at least close to their age. They feel like they're going to be heard more and more effectively. I want to be part of that gap that's being bridged between the old guard and then people who are coming after them. I always bring up 18 to 25 as the age bracket I focus on. I'm out of the age bracket, so this isn't to my benefit, it's to their benefit. I want to be an intermediate piece to this puzzle going forward. I see being a candidate, becoming the mayor, as just a stepping stone for whoever comes after me. I want to finish the project we have in the works now effectively, and then build foundations for what's going to be started next. Because I'm not worried about being a career politician. I might just be a long-term guy. And I feel like that brings a strong level of commitment for whoever wants to come in next, because they know that their voice can be heard. They can break up what is the status quo as it is now. Another thing is I want to expand a lot of our city into the internet age, focus more on social media outreach, and potentially bringing in companies that focus more on just basically having just an office, and they do a whole bunch of online sales, bringing a large amount of money that way, so we don't have to take up as much space that we really don't have available at the moment. Another thing that we can do is, if I need to be in office longer than a term, I'm willing to do it if it means bringing confidence into a developer who thinks that they need somebody in there for 8 to 12 years to make sure a program is finished. And that's he's not going to come in after and just tear it apart again. That seems to be about it.
All right, thank you, sir. Again, just to recap and correct me if I'm wrong, really filling that gap, making sure that 18 to 25 year demo both sides, right, and speak both languages.
Yeah, and hopefully, as you can tell, haven't been speaking very well, getting over something with my throat and making it kind of hard to talk, and that's also why my answers are a bit shorter today than I wanted to be. But yeah, the gap needs to be made, because a lot of younger people are afraid to get into politics, because they think they're just going to be crushed as soon as they come. They really have this mindset of old money runs the world, and that's not necessarily true of local government. And older people, they tend to give more credit than younger people believe. They're willing to pass things on, work with people, but I feel like a bit of fear from both ways right now, and like just anxiety in general from younger individuals is really keeping them from wanting to outreach to the one side of the aisle. And the older people are trying to give help, and in some ways it comes off as pushy.
Thanks, sir. Gary, the next question is for you, and the question is, how can you balance the needs of revenue-generating businesses with current ordinances that at times limit them? And some of the examples that were given from, I'm assuming, a business owner, parking on First Street. It sounds like there's some things going on for the business owners if they park along First Street with their businesses, noise ordinances, etc., that have been in the news or have come up in the past. So what can you do to kind of balance those two pieces, ordinances and making sure we meet the needs of those businesses?
If specific ordinances impede the businesses in our community, I will meet with the business to find out if any changes have to be made. I would not promote an ordinance change immediately to either impede the business or shut it down completely. I would first try to resolve the issue through negotiating and let's work more towards the businesses. Let's try to make the businesses as successful as they possibly can. People put a ton of effort and money when they are small business owners. I know that when I started out, we were working 60 or 70 hours a week in the startup stages of business. And people in downtown do that. I think that our council is a lot out of touch with understanding what it takes to actually get going, get started, and then sustain a business in any town, not just LaSalle. I mean, there is a lot of hats to wear. They have to be the marketing director, they have to be, the paycheck, the one that gives the paychecks every week. They have to do everything. They have to set the schedule, they have to order the stock, they have to even sometimes bring lunch to everyone. These are things that a small business owner does every single week. And we need to understand that. We need to talk to these small business owners and find out what the city can do to make them successful. At times, no matter what we do, it's not going to work out. Maybe the plan wasn't good in the first place. But so many times I see the passion and the dreams of these business owners. They really want to make it. The strange thing is, like I said, I've helped over 35 businesses in LaSalle actually get started. And as we talk to these business owners, the first statement I tell them is that I want you guys to be millionaires. I want you to be a millionaire. Not for me, for them. Now, having the passion to help another person, I think that's the thing that is so tough when we see a food truck ordinance shut down. When we see any type of, I see the people come to the meetings with all the hopes that they can. And we see a council that is just completely out of touch with what's really going on. And what do? They vote against it. And it's just really heartbreaking to see that. And you guys have the opportunity to change it. You have the opportunity to make the right vote in all these wards.
That is 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you so much. It's time for a change.
Yeah, I'm gonna close the last question with you before we get into closing comments. The question is, what can the city do to encourage our current retail locations to stay open during peak traffic hours on First Street? I know there's been a lot of talk on First Street.
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of our businesses downtown are family-owned, so if you're already working 8 to 5 when the public's open, but you're there at 7 to 6, sometimes it's hard for folks to say, hey, I'm gonna work until 8 o'clock. Costs a lot of money to hire folks and get people they can count on. We're talking about throwing around, if we have a side grant for outdoor work, if you put $12,500 into your outside building, the city will match you $12,500, right? We know that a lot of times they're putting more work actually inside. So that 12.5 is helping the curb appeal, it's helping that business owner, and has more disposable income to put towards a business. We're looking at potentially projecting a payroll grant. So how can people open on Saturday and Sunday? You go to Galena, you can go to Ottawa, some stores are open Saturday and Sunday. Some of these businesses right now, that's their only time to get off, because they're the ones working, the families working the business. If we can work out a deal where for a month they commit to open up on Saturday and Sunday, we offer maybe minimum wage or a matching $1 or $2 above minimum wage grant to them, as long as they commit to doing it for a month, and see if it's worth their while. I know, like everybody's mentioned about trying a business to see if it works and to stay in business. But that's the key. Right now, we do have some empty storefronts downtown. There's no doubt about it. And I hear talk about letting people come in and do it for free. Well, the city's not in the business of real estate. We don't own any storefronts downtown where we could just say, hey, just come on in, try it for a month, and we could do it. But Mr. Hammers has 3 empty storefronts right now downtown, and maybe that's something he can do. I'm just confused as to how we're gonna hear this big plan after the election, when there's 3 businesses downtown that are not being used. One was a fast food, fast restaurant, Bill Artis. Not only selling, I mean, that age, maybe not necessarily police, right? You have to talk. Not only is it a situation where maybe it's just your parole, and we can't do business in South. Oh, he has a building in Peru, category from Peru, City Hall. He paid $100 for it. There's not been any action there for at least 8 months. And that was supposed to be a pizza person who had a food truck. So food trucks are great, but if I go to Jose Carlos Country Restaurant, I go to Mickey Massey, I go to Uptown, who are paying for the brick and mortar, which is property tax. They're also paying for the power. They're paying for the heat. How fair is it for me to have a food truck come in right next to them, and people are not going to go to their restaurant because they're going to go to the food truck? It's not. So as long as I'm there, and I think the third city council agrees, that's not going to happen, because we appreciate the people who are investing in downtown. It's only fair. Thank you.
I would like to know what 3 businesses are empty that I know.
We won't go sidebar. I get it. The payroll grant, again, we've talked about some creative pieces. We'd love to see something like that happen. We're talking with some of our members downtown. It is tough. I mean, they're 1 to 2 person operations, but there is oftentimes a miss with many traffic coming after 5 o'clock. So we will go into closing statements now. Appreciate everything. We had another page and a half of questions to get through, which happens all the time. We get up talking, especially when there's 4 or more folks. It's hard to get everything in. So if your question wasn't asked or answered, I apologize. There will be an opportunity to ask that over the next couple of weeks of these gentlemen, as you are getting ready to vote April 1st. With that, though, Gary, we'll start with you for closing comments.
Again, I'd like to apologize. In closing, I will be reading from my notes. Thank you for being here tonight and taking the time to be part of this important decision for our city. It's our city. This election is about more than just choosing a mayor. It's about choosing a leader with a real plan and proven experience to get things done. I've spent my life investing in LaSalle, starting businesses, restoring buildings, and creating opportunities. I know the challenges our city faces, and more importantly, I know how to fix them. I have the vision, the leadership, and the dedication to see this city reach its potential. As your mayor, I will support and expand local businesses to drive economic growth, lower property taxes by increasing sales revenue so that the burden is not on the homeowners, invest in infrastructure to make LaSalle safer and more walkable. I'm recently walking down the street in LaSalle. I have to walk down the street in LaSalle because most of the streets do not have sidewalks that are able to walk. Personally engage with business owners and residents to ensure the city is working for you. Bring in new development with a team of investors ready to build hotels, restaurants, and partnerships, creating jobs and strengthening our economy. If we have a stronger economy, we don't have to play this game of being poor. I'm not running for a title. I'm running to make a difference. That's why I'm donating my entire salary back to the city. Because this isn't about a paycheck. It's about building LaSalle we can all be proud of. Now is the time for bold leadership. Now is the time for action. And now is the time for change. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie?
I'm winning this now. Script. Gary's right. This is a turning point for LaSalle, I believe. I don't think there'd be 4 people sitting up here if we didn't think something needed to be changed. My main goal is infrastructure. Infrastructure has been neglected for far too long in this city. Our water, our sewers, the underground. You can put lipstick on a pig and call it pretty, but it's still a pig. This current administration has known about issues with our water wells and floodplains for years. And the only time that they decided to do something about that is when EPA came in and mandated they do it. After they told them for years that they needed to. And people, I don't know if you realize how much money we've actually dumped into our wastewater treatment plant, our water treatment plant, because of EPA violations that we were charged with. Serious violations that were downplayed by this current administration with a smear campaign in the newspaper. It needs to stop. I don't know if you realize we're now looking for more money. We're begging for more money and we don't know where it's coming from. We're praying for a grant to land on the table to pay for our new water well because we're competing with Caris Chemical, and it's in the history books before time. We have been fighting Caris Chemical for clean water. They're taking half of what our whole city uses just for themselves. So what does that do to our system? What strains does that put on the taxpayer? What does that do to our quality of water? $60-some thousand to put a damn meter in that the city taxpayers had to pay while Caris pays pennies on the gallon and does not get charged for discharge into the city sewer. We pay to treat that and dump that into the river. The taxpayer. Like Caris Chemical is the way with paying nothing. Ordinances in place, not enforced. Only when it benefits certain people. I've been a victim of that myself. It's time for a change, people. It's time for LaSalle to open their eyes and see what's been going on. And even if I don't get in, I request anybody who gets in office to request to put in for a forensic audit. We need to know where our money's been going, not the lie and bullcrap they're trying to put on paper. Because every week they tell us we got money. No, we don't. We're stealing money from TIF to pay for deficits. We're moving money around. We're playing a juggling act. And eventually the bottom of the barrel's gonna fall right out. And the bad thing is I don't understand why this current administration does not see that or realize eventually what you're doing, the bottom's gonna drop out. Fake LPAC committees, you're handing over $310,000, people. We don't even know where it's going. We don't know. People want to know if I'm going to come in and get rid of people. I'm coming in and I'm cleaning house. That's what it's all about. You get a new mayor, you get new eyes, you get new ears, you get rid of the taintedness, the corruption in the police department. And John Duncan, I'm sorry, but from what I've seen with you, between the women that you have encountered, and my encounters with me, you will not work underneath me. In no way, shape, or form. You don't belong. You should not be representing the city of LaSalle. And you're supposed to be the human resource guy. And I got tons of videos showing me how you handle human resources. Love him all you want. Yeah, he does. You'll find out when I expose him. My goodness.
Tyler, you, sir.
I don't think to top any of that. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming out. I hope you guys continue to stay within politics in our city and continue to hold people accountable, develop the city going forward. I'm hoping that next time there is a forum, hopefully 4 years from now, more of these seats are filled. Thank you.
And Jeff, if you could wrap us up.
Yes, so I just want to do some point of order. You know, one thing when you're actually in the chair, there's facts you can't run away from. There's numbers, there's evidence, monetary evidence that is a footprint of what's going on. I can't just say I'm gonna give everybody $1 million and I'm gonna do this for all your streets and curbs. It costs at least $80,000 to do one curb for one pot on both sides and 2 sidewalks. Unfortunately, we're not there. The goal is to get there. But I'm not going to promise that to you because I know it's realistic. The council would love to do that too. We would love to do it. But again, we would have done it if it's feasible. We cannot do that, and we're getting a better chance to get there. I just want to put a point of clarity on the ambulance meeting. I was there at a crew ambulance board meeting, and at the time, we asked them if we could get an ambulance at our station, we will continue with crew ambulance. If we can't, we're going to do something to service our own residents. They said, sorry, we can't do that. So I let them think for their time and I left. Sorry, I don't know what else I should do, but that's what we do. We left. Ordinance violations, permits. It is important to have permits. They're important for building code. I don't want to get a building that doesn't have a building permit shows up to code. I don't think I want my family in there. I don't think you guys want my families in there. Ordinances. We will go ahead, and this is typical behavior, we will go ahead and we want to change behavior. We don't want to slap anybody's fines for $100 or $50. So what happens is if you give Bill a violation notice, hey, your grass is getting high. Jeff Rowe lives next to you, would like for you to clear your grass. Jeff Rowe keeps his, I'm sorry, not Jeff Rowe, Tyler keeps his property perfect. And he doesn't want to live next to somebody who has out of control. It's called property maintenance. It's called curb appeal. It's called private community. It's called property value, right? So what we do is, and I know the chief does this, and I'm putting he'll say, Bill, please take care of it. Take care of it. We're going to put that down to $10 because it's not the money we need for building code enforcement. We want to change behavior, okay? Water bills. We came in as a team, and people will say, hey, you know what? Can't make my water bill this week, this month, you know, and in the past, administration, so whatever they decide, they said that was fine. When we came in, we said, you know what, we're running this as a business. We're not cash flush where we can afford, we have to pay bills to the city. You go to Insight, you go to Comcast, you go to Ameren. If you're late with your bill, you're gonna get a notice, right? You're gonna get notice. We do the same thing now, and the people in the office were very appreciative that we actually held the line. Thank you, Jeff. Now we know what revenues we can count on to run every day-to-day business, now that we know these revenues have come in. And guess what? The behavior's really changed. And unfortunately, we have to go to the point of getting door haters, because not everybody's checking their emails, not everybody's checking their text messages. They might, and they put them off, and then they forget to go back to them. Postage, is it kind of archaic? It might be, but it's really working. And the one reason we give the courtesy to the landlord is because in the end, if Jeff Rose skips out, I'm paying that bill, and I leave that apartment, guess what? The landowner is responsible for it. So that's why we try to get the landowner heads up to put a little pressure on their tenant to make sure they're paying bills.
Email me.
Safe environment, okay? I'm running for mayor. John Duck's running for mayor. None of my staff here or team is running for mayor. I will not allow an unsafe work environment. Who works for a company in leadership out here? You have a right to protect, you have to protect your employees from harassment, or you need to make sure they're not harassing the public or harassing each other. So this is an example today of why there is an order of protection against Mr. Hicks, against John Duncan for threats made. This is a perfect example, and I wasn't bringing it.
That's an appeal court.
No, you
That's
brought it
an
up.
appeal court
So
as we
this
speak.
is my job as city council. If we don't protect our work employees, it's to get to the city of LaSalle. I'm not taking care of that. Somebody tell me here that's wrong. If
What,
you're
what you do to me?
That's the case,
Mayor?
okay, Bill, can you?
We, just, so, we
Fake
made it
follow
through
inspection.
an hour and a half, we made it through an hour and a half, let's get
You
to the
know,
last
we
20
want to have a
seconds.
debate, we can go toe to toe.
Let us get to the last 20 seconds here, Mr. Hicks, we've made it this far, again, I get there's disagreements,
One more time.
so,
So,
wrap
one more
up.
thing is, I can, you don't see them in radio, you don't see them in newspaper, the last 6 months, they've gone directly to the voters, okay? But I am gonna go by facts. Mr. Hammer says he only got $43,000, when I said it was over $380,000. I had the sheets, I had the check numbers. I guess when you drive by the State Farm building, and, which is now Detour, which is one like a top-class organization, those are buildings that property was given to Gary, in communication with Gary, from the city, as well as all these RIP grants and other checks that was cashed by him, as far as the program to take care of that development. And if you were offered a property for $240,000 and then start to be able to start from fresh with that, with investment money,
Spent on 1.5 million to finish the job. That's what I spent. So you can say that you
I'm gonna just pause there. Again, we made it through an hour and a half. I do not want to end on this matter. Again, there are going to be disagreements. That is okay. It is okay to have disagreements. That's how government works. That's how life works. You don't have to agree with each other, but I will ask while you're on the stage, you are forward.
in closing, I want to thank Gary James for investment downtown, but I also want to thank Mike Bird, Nikki Hoffman, Chrissy Pasikan family, Tom and Lee Phyllis Arnold, the Duncan family of South State Bank, the Brady family, Hayden family of Tri-City Truck Shop, Lake Ron and Seneca for having a vision, Drew and Casey Berkeley, Randy and Andres, mine Alexis Andres, Jim Lannon. I have a list here of all our local businesses downtown who put money into their businesses, into their buildings. So yes, it is true.
If I wasn't running the job today, would you thank anyone?
So, bottom line is, folks, I want to appreciate the support out there. Don Murphy Brody, I love the Side Chef Team Grove. This has been a tough election for me, losing my brother in September, but the support that we got out here from folks that hate for the sign, Jeff, with you, it doesn't go unnoticed. And thank you. I love the honor of serving 4 more years.
That is, so what I will do now is, again, we're about a couple minutes over, we did ask a couple of questions. What I will do, I will invite anybody who is running for a position to come on up. This is your chance, again, it's an informal meet and greet, so if you'd like to meet candidates running for council seats or for school board, for IBCC, they will be standing up front. Just for sake of time, I won't have them each introduce themselves, we were gonna do that, but come down, talk to them, ask who they are, where they're from, what they're running for, and we'll have this last half hour set down. So, thank you all for coming out, I appreciate it, enjoy the rest of your evening, and drive safe, thanks.
I said, this is fine. Is he running? Where's it going?